What is going on, peasants? JBWestside Jr. here with my draft analysis for NCP Nimbus Season 3, which, yeah, you can already see my first pick, but also I guess I'm John Jr. I'm not questioning it. I got the slides. I'm gonna just do my draft analysis, man. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Anyway, NCP is a draft league ran by my good friend John Jr. and a few of his homies. Zombie is, I believe, a commissioner as well. I don't know who the other commissioners are, but Zombie's cool. I'm just memeing, but yeah, NCP, I was in season 2. It wasn't upload required. Season 3 is. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. We got a lot of the homies in here. Pretty much everyone in here is a good friend, so it's gonna be a really fun league, and I'm very much looking forward to it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop straight in. This is post home. You can see there are 1200 points for 10 total Pokemon. Dynamax and Gigantamax completely banned, as well as there being certain Pokemon whose hidden abilities are available, like Grassy Surge, Rillaboom is one, and then stuff like that, like Starter's hidden abilities, the Fossil's hidden abilities, stuff like that is allowed, and is, well, except for Libero Cinderace, which was banned, unfortunately. That tells you what my pick after Terrakion is. So let's go ahead and talk about Terrakion. Let's just hop right into it. I had no earthly idea of what I wanted. You can see I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I was 9th pick. I wanted Hydreigon. I really wanted Hydreigon. I also really wanted Rillaboom, and I was considering, you know, I wanted one of those two, really. I didn't even like have an idea of what else I wanted. Aegislash and Mew were both banned. I'm pretty sure Darm was banned, obviously. Like I had no idea what I wanted, and John was like, "Hey, DM me." He's like, "Okay," and then he listed me like 4 Mons, and I'm like, "All of these are boring." And then like I saw Terrakion on the list. I'm like, "Oh, that seems less boring. I'll use that." And that's how I ended up with Terrakion as my round 1 pick. I'm not the biggest fan of it, honestly. I mean, it's okay. It's pretty good. Like, it's gonna hit like a truck. I'm just gonna click buttons with it, and like, hey, listen, if there's one thing that I do well in Pokemon, it's just click buttons and make my opponent deal with it, and that's kind of like Terrakion's main thing. It just clicks close combat. It just clicks Stone Edge, and your opponent has to find a switch in. So, you know what? I'm kind of okay with it in that regard. It does get decent coverage. It can dual dance with Rock Polish SD. It can, you know, run crap like, it gets Mega Hornell, which is really cool, help break through fatter grass types and stuff like that, or even Psychics, which is probably more useful against, honestly, because you just close combat grass types. But yeah, Poison Jab for fairies, and then that's really all the coverage it needs. Ground, rock, fighting, bug, and poison. It gets steel as well, so it's decent, it's pretty solid, and it should be a ton of fun to use. So with my next pick, I was able to get my hands on, excuse me, sir. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. That's you know what? That's not your fault, Draken. That's my fault. But my next pick, I was able to grab Cinderace. This is a Pokemon I just really wanted to use. I just couldn't justify it taking it round 1 for some reason. I don't know why I didn't take it round 1. I just didn't. But we have Cinderace here, and I was able to get it in round 2 because it was like a really fun Pokemon. It was something I really wanted to try. So I'm very much happy that I do get to use this Pokemon. Court Change is a really cool move, especially if you just pair that with Heavy Duty Boots, or you can just slap a Choice Band or a Life Orb on this thing and hit incredibly hard. Gets good, not great coverage. Like, it gets like fighting, gets Gunk Shot, it gets U-Turn, so it gets enough. Sucker Punch for priority is decent, but it doesn't get great coverage. It's okay, but it just looks like a really fun, really fast, really cool Pokemon to use, and I wanted to try it. So with my next pick, I needed something for waters because I automatically lose to any water type ever. So I decided to go ahead and pick myself up Heliolisk, which is A, water immunity, and B, an electric type, obviously. So that's really cool. It gives me another really solid speed tier. So I have like 3 super fast Pokemon, and Heliolisk and Terrakion don't really complement each other. But Heliolisk does give me another Pokemon that outspeeds the other swords. So screw you Cobalion, screw you Keldeo, and screw you Virizion. Anyway, though, Heliolisk has long been one of my favorite electric types to use, like in any generation. I just really like it. A, its design, and B, its utility. Like, just being immune to water is just always nice. Like, just, you know, you always have a Scald Switch in if you have a Heliolisk on your team, so that's just phenomenal. You can also run like solar power sets if you're playing like a Sand team, or Sandville if you're running You know what I meant to say. Sandvale if you're playing a sand team, Solar Power if you're playing a sun team. I said Solar Power and then I immediately ran Sandvale, that's why I did that. But Helios is a Pokemon with good, not great coverage again. Grass Knot, Focus Blast, and Surf are his main options for coverage. I can run stuff like Dark Pulse as well, it gets, but mainly you're just going to be clicking U-turn or Thunderbolt or Hyper Voice. That's pretty much all you're going to be doing with this guy. It can do some other funky things like Subglare is a set I've seen work. I've seen people make some use of, so maybe we can pull that off. Get a little bit funky, hopefully, at least once. So with our next pick, I wanted to go ahead and grab another water immunity, as well as one of the more solid ground types. Like ground types are going fast, and ground types are horrible this generation, unless you want to, you know, like get Steelix later rounds. Like if you don't draft a good ground type in like the first couple rounds, you're just not gonna have one in Gen 8, especially with the pre like DLC meta. Like there's just not a lot of great ones. So I went, excuse me, Jesus, I went ahead and grabbed Seismitoad here. As like I said, it gives me another just water immunity, which is always nice, and it's just a really solid, really bulky Pokemon that can honestly just, it's like another just perfect Gloomon that can pretty much come on any team, any week, and just do well. Great Stealth Walker, has access to Toxic naturally, as well as I believe access to Knockoff naturally. If not, like we're playing post home and like that moveset pull anyway, so it doesn't really matter if it has it naturally or not. But yeah, it's really solid, decent enough coverage again with like fighting, ground, grass, poison, ice. Like it gets solid enough coverage. Can be run offensive if you're playing a rain team or want to set your own rain. It can be a pretty fun offensive mon as well. So good enough Pokemon, and yeah, solid rocker, very good ground type, and I'm really happy to use it. Next up, this is a Pokemon I just wanted, plain and simple. I just wanted to use this because I love it so much. So we went ahead and grabbed ourselves Braviary, which is actually really cool because it's like a double snipe too. So A, I get to use like one of my favorite Pokemon, and B, haha, you wanted this, I have it. I don't want to say eat dicks, but kind of eat dicks. Braviary is just one of my favorite Pokemon, period. I love its design. It's like top 10. I need to make that top 10 video because I swear, like I don't know what that list is unless I like sat down and wrote it, but I promise you Braviary's on it. And there's probably like a few more Pokemon. I've said that a Pokemon is a top 10 design for like probably 15 Pokemon I've drafted, so I might need to sit down and actually make that list at some point. Let me know if you want to see that video. Anyway though, two very good abilities, and Sheer Force and Defiant, both nice. And just a plethora of really fun spammable moves with Brave Bird, Close Combats. Freaking Close Combat, dude, that's so nice. Heat Wave if I want to catch like a Ferrothorn sleeping or something, like just catch it off guard, that could be fun. Rock Slide, Shadow Claw for coverage, good U-turn, user can, you know, run crap like Tailwind and Whirlwind if I want to, and Headbutt for coverage as well. I think I said Facade. If I didn't say Facade, like it's his main normal stab now. It also gets Crush Claw, which I believe is boosted by, yeah, it's boosted by Sheer Force, so it's pretty strong, but I think most of the time you probably just want to run Facade so you can, you know, have a little out versus like Willow or stuff like that. And it's a decent enough defogger as well. Having access to that, especially with heavy duty boots if you run like a bulkier variant, and having access to Roost again, it can run sub bulk up sets or, you know, sub Roost sets and stuff like that, or Roost bulk up. Like having Roost back in this thing's arsenal is so good. So next up, very similarly to ground types, there are like negative good fairy types. So I grabbed like the last decent fairy type on the board, and that was Aromatisse. Like, sorry Dorian, I know you hate this thing, but I will say eat dicks to Dorian. I don't feel bad about that, but Aromatisse is decent. Good Trick Room option, decent cleric, can nasty plot. Doesn't really get the best coverage. It gets like fairy, grass, and electric. That's about it in terms of special coverage, but it's okay. It's fat. It's never gonna die in one hit really, unless it's like a offensive steel or poison type. It can take pretty much any neutral hit and, you know, kind of just laugh. So it's a decent bulky fairy, and it was like one of the only kind of okay fairies left, so I just grabbed it. Next up is another Pokemon I just wanted. I needed a grass type. I wanted a poison type to absorb T-Spikes, because my team kind of loses to T-Spikes at this point. And also, I need a little bit more bulk, so bang. We went ahead and grabbed Vileplume. It's really bulky. It's another Pokemon that just won't die in one hit, and it has pretty solid coverage. It's way better than freaking Bellossom that I have in Academy. Giga Drain, Poison Stab. It doesn't get access to Quiver Dance, but it does have access to String Step, which I think it's a better user of than Bellossom, so that's cool. Dazzling Gleam, Moonblast, that gets both of those. Leech Seed, like it's just a really solid bulky Pokemon, and it absorbs T-Spikes. Yeah, have fun killing Brain, dude. Brain is really good, and I love me some Brain. Now, speaking of Pokemon that I love, and this should be a hint of what I'm hitting right now. I'm hitting this Pokemon. I'm hitting like this. What my monitors are sat upon right now, dude. You can actually see it. Like you can see it, like right there, like right there. You can see its leg. Its leg is right there. Has this leg been there the whole video? Its leg might have been there the whole video. It probably was. Whatever. Its leg is right there. You can see it, dude. You can see its leg. We got ourselves a table, dude. We got ourselves a freaking table. This is another Pokemon like I just took because I wanted. I kind of needed it as well because I needed a little bit of, you know, bulky defense, like physical defense, as well as another rapid spinner. So that's always nice to have. Just any hazard removal that isn't, you know, offensive braviary is nice. So listen, man, not only do I straight up love this Pokemon, it fills a niche, fills a role in this team that I needed, and I can't ask it to do more. Body press from this thing just kind of does a lot of damage, dude. And then it gets stuff like it gets decent enough coverage. I don't really need to go into the coverage that the table gets. It's a freaking table. It gets rapid spin, it gets avalanche, it gets body press. Doesn't need anything else. And this being post home, it does have access to sturdy as well, so that's phenomenal. So going into my last two picks, I had to choose 2 of 3 types. I had to choose 3 of 4 types. There were only way I could only manage to get 3 of 5 types. It's 5. So I had to pick between normal, dragon, steel, dark, and ghost. So I had to choose between those 5 types. So these next 2 picks, I tried to get as many of those types as I could, and I managed to get 3 of them, which, you know, 3 out of 5, it's 60%. I can, you know, it's passing in some schools, probably. I don't know, dude. So with my next pick, I was able to grab Bisharp. I thought having a steel type was pretty damn important, even though it's not a steel type that's resistant to what's it called, fairy. It's still a decent fairy killer, being that it's faster than a lot of them and hits incredibly hard, has access to knockoff again, as well as Defiant, giving me just another defog deterrent if I can keep my rocks up, and also having Sucker Punch and just, you know, being able to hit ghost types rather, and psychic types, which I hate losing. There's nothing I hate more than losing to a bulky Calm Mind psychic type. So I thought Bisharp was one of the better options that I could have grabbed to fill out the role. And once I got Bisharp, I could no longer afford any dragons except for like NFEs, and I was like, nah. So with my next pick, I decided to go ahead and grab a ghost type over any, you know, crap normal type. So, and that Pokemon is Haunter. Haunter's decent, man. It's not great. It does still have access to Levitate, which makes it pretty good. I guess we have decent speed tier in between Heliolisk and the rest of the team as well, so that's nice. And yeah, it's got a decent move pool. It gets pretty much everything Gengar gets in terms of special coverage, I'm pretty sure, except for Focus Blast. That's about it. That's like the only notable one that I can see looking at it. But yeah, I guess it still gets like Thunderbolt, Giga Drain, Energy Ball, stuff like that. Obviously, it gets Shadow Claw and Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave. And it's decently fast, base 95 speed, and it hits really hard, base 115. That's all it really does. It's decently fast, decently hard hitting, and, you know, good enough for what I could afford. All in all, I think this is a pretty cool, pretty fun team. I don't think it's, you know, anywhere near the best team I've ever drafted, even close. Like, it's okay. Like, honestly, this team is okay at best. That's about it. That's about as good of a, that's about as much praise as I can give this team, honestly. I think it's okay. I think it's pretty, I think that's, like, I don't know how else to say that other than I think it's okay. I think it can win games. I think it'll, you know, struggle to have switch-ins to a lot of Pokemon, but I think it could, you know, also glue together really well and end up just outpowering and just maneuvering teams. Like, it's definitely a team of Pokemon that I think that I would be comfortable using, which is probably the most important part to me personally when playing Draft League, is that I'm comfortable using the Pokemon, and I like all the Pokemon on the team, and I do like all the Pokemon on the team. So I think I'll do pretty decent with this squad. Let me know what you guys think my record will be. I believe this is also it's either a 10 or 12 week season. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure how many weeks it is. I do know we play our boy Shayquaza in the final week, so that'll be fun. So let me know how many games you think the team will win. Let me know what you think the kill leader will be, all that sort of stuff. And I will see you all for week 1, a week from the day, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace. I put my peace sign behind my mic. I did my mic funny ears.